This Romulan didn't murder your parents. And you are the only one who can save his life.
Then he will die.
What am I doing? Hello and good evening. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 7, The Enemy, is over, and it has been since 1989, but we're just getting started here in 2025 as we continue our mission to watch every episode of Star Trek The Next Generation and talk all about it. In this episode, Lieutenant Geordi LaForge is stranded on a storm-ravaged surface of Galorndon Core with a wounded Romulan. The two adversaries must overcome distrust and work together to survive. And aboard the Enterprise, Lieutenant Worf faces a moral crisis when he's asked to save another dying Romulan. A decision that pits his Klingon heritage against his Starfleet duty. And Captain Picard has to navigate a tense standoff with a Romulan warbird, demanding the return of the missing personnel. Now, here's the guy who is watching Geordi LaForge survive a storm in Galorndon Core and thought, forcing you to live with a grumpy Romulan might just be the first step towards peace. I'm your host, Dave Mader. And we got a great panel here to break down this episode. Coming in here first, she sees justice in every frame and story in every silence. If Worf's choice is principled, she's already questioned the cost of conviction, and he's asking what it means to honor your past while serving your future and whether mercy can coexist with memory. It's our spiritual leader and our quiz admiral, Kevin and Ashley Millard.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Coming in here, of course, next from Ottawa, or is it Toronto tonight, as he's wearing Blue Jays blue, to Galorndon Core. He reads the mission like a treaty, calm, tactical, and already parsing the subtext behind Worf's refusal and the Romulan standoff. If diplomacy's a chessboard, he's 3 moves ahead. It's Adam Woodward.
Hey, guys. Actually, that was Ashley's introduction was like bang on. Fantastic job, Dave.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And I'm in Ottawa, and it's Canada's team.
Canada's team, like the Expos no longer exist. There was a time where Ottawa might have been more loyal to the Expos, but that was long ago. But we are all got our fingers crossed for Game 6 of the World Series tomorrow night in Toronto as the Blue Jays look to win their 3rd title against the LA Dodgers, hopefully. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation, The Enemy. And talking all about this episode. The 55th episode overall of Star Trek The Next Generation came out November 6, 1989. And this one was written by David Kemper and Michael Piller and directed by another David Carson. Wow, David's all around, including myself.
It's got to be good if there's that many Daves involved.
These are the Daves I know.
Well, and the ones I don't know. Like these two. But and Michael Piller, of course, went on to be a co-creator of D Space Nine before, he didn't live to the end of that show. But I can my main thought on this episode, everyone, was, and I'm just going to start, was like, I kind of get why Michael Piller kind of rose through the ranks of the Star Trek writers, maybe just even based on this episode. Like, and what he does in this episode. Like, I don't know how much of it's David Kemper and how much of it's him, but it's really good. this is a really strong 45 minutes. And it's not a ton of action. It's mostly all talking. It's all about moral dilemmas, the adversary, the title of the enemy. And I'd like to get your reactions to it. Let's start with Ashley. I'd like to hear what you think of the enemy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love this episode because it is all the moral dilemmas, and I love the moral dilemma episodes of Star Trek where they are wrestling with what's the right thing to do, and the right thing to do could be either side. So I love this episode.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm always happy to get a Romulan episode. I love the Romulans. This
is maybe like the best Romulan episode up to this point, at least. Compared maybe the only balance of terror, rivalry. I don't know. You know what I mean. Serving as a rival. And of course, we're here on live stream on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and other places. We have our friend Sam.
Hey, Sam.
From Newfoundland. The super fan Sam is here. Always asking, when's the goat coming back? Which is referring to my dad, Ted. But baseball sucks. I can't even put that comment up. Come on. So.
That sounds like baseball.
Yeah. Kevin, want to move over to you? How are you feeling about this one?
Oh, I love this episode. I love Tomalak. Anything with Tomalak and Picard in this episode are incredible. Like this back and forth. I feel like Wayun sitting at the table with Ducat and
yes, he is
the intrigue.
Right. Yeah, well, here I got a good one here.
Captain Picard, my apologies. Had I known you were in this sector, I certainly would have advised you before crossing the neutral zone.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed. I'm sure you would have let me know. It's like a courtesy call.
I could listen to Picard say Galorndon Core like 1,000 times. It sticks in my brain for some reason.
Well, yes, and I love that you brought up Tomalak, because that is Andreas Katsoulis, who also played. He was also on that Enterprise episode we covered on the Enterprise a couple years ago, the Progenitor one. But he's, I think mostly known for being on Babylon 5 as Jakar.
No,
and,
he's not mostly.
No, not none of that. I didn't know that.
Well, he is, and he's probably the greatest part of that cast. Arguably,
dozens of people have watched him on Babylon 5.
Well, let's not get crazy.
Well, as someone who did, like his acting is amazing in that show, and just watching him and Patrick Stewart kind of go back and forth just over a view screen, right? Like they're not ever in the same room technically.
Yeah,
it's really good. Adam, I know you don't know about Andreas Katsoulis and the greatness of Babylon 5, but I know you know about this episode. And what are your thoughts on this?
This was, for me, I don't know why, but I don't rewatch this one too often. And when I do, though, I go, why don't I rewatch this often? Because I think it was a Geordi episode, but it really isn't.
No, not quite.
And actually, that's how we introduced it the other night. We're talking on For All Mankind, but I this is introducing Tom Luck to us, by the way, too. And that guy, he's such a great, strong character to come off with. And then out of the two Romulans on the planet, the second one, Bakra, he comes back again, right? We see him again. Like, I'm sure that I'm going to check for my fun facts here, but I think like that head, I remember that head, like it's that he's got such a unique look around him, and they do the his eyebrows so well, and so angled, and so he seems like a memorable character. I'm going to find it.
I could definitely believe that actor came back in some other way, but I don't really remember Bakra specifically coming back into any storylines. But Tomalak definitely does. He at least one other episode. Where,
he's in a couple. I'm sure. I'll have all that information for later.
Okay, great. And like this episode deals with the Romulans in the most substantial way, I think, up until this point in Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like they have like their return in like the end of season 1, but that's kind of with them dealing with all the frozen popsicle people that they're thawing out.
That episode sucks.
And I'm trying to remember if there's anything in season 2 that we covered with the Romulans. If there was, there was the one with the Iconian Gateway. the contagion, right? And Picard briefly going on the bridge of that ship, but this is a more menacing encounter. You really believe these ships are gonna fight in this?
Yeah.
The other big part of this episode is Worf's. He is now a dilemma, but I think it's great because it really shows that he is not all in all of Starfleet's ideals and everything they should be doing, and it definitely shows him as a non-human, and certainly hasn't, I think, being co-opted by the whole crew and what their ideals are, and so I know Geordi always makes fun of Worf, but he shows balls. He shows his conviction in this episode.
Yeah, and I could tell that Worf is struggling with the whole thing because
I don't think he struggles at all.
I'm not so sure.
I think Worf is showing more showing more what it's like to be Starfleet than I think Crusher was completely unprofessional. There is no way a doctor should ever be pressuring anyone to give anything from their body to someone. It's Starfleet ideals for bodily autonomy. That's what he did. I don't think he wrestled against his Starfleet ideals in any way.
Well, I think the conversation with Riker in particular gives him some pause around like the cycle of violence and hatred and what everything to do with that, and whether or not holding on to this this blame he casts against the entire Romulan people for the murder of his parents is worthwhile or not. There's of course there's the rights of like your body, and there's also the rights of the patient, where even if Worf agreed to this, the Romulan didn't want it, so it's kind of it doesn't really matter. But I don't know. I feel like if Worf had agreed to it, they would have gone through with it against the Romulans' will. Just like, is that
which is
not
well? Yeah. You know what? They wipe people's memories all the time.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Worf even says, like, if you order me to do this, I'll do it. But I'm not like voluntarily doing this. Like,
I think Worf was coming around until he talked to the Romulan.
Yes. I think the conversation with Riker, he's starting to come around. He hasn't changed his mind, but he's kind of weighing all the morality. He says, like, my Starfleet training tells me one thing, but everything else about me tells me something else. And he's holding on to this, the memory of his parents, but he's also grown up around humans. He went to Starfleet Academy. He does hold some of these ideals around, life has to be preserved no matter what. And so, I guess, of course they write it that only Worf is the one capable of saving this Romulan. None of the Vulcans are compatible. We're not explained why. It's just, they're just not.
None of the other, how many people are on the Enterprise?
1,000.
None of them.
Are there Vulcans on the Enterprise?
At least one, Dr. Solar. And that cello player that we saw.
So definitely the Vulcans should be more compatible, considering they come from the same species.
Yeah, and Crusher says in the episode, well, we thought it'd be like treating Vulcans, but there are subtle differences. Too many subtle differences. Okay, so I'm like, they're biologically different enough that they're not compatible.
But they're biologically closer to Klingons who have extra organs.
Well, that's what
I feel like they would be further apart from Klingons.
It's something more. It's like something from his inside the cellular biology. And Worf's like, I'm a Klingon. Why would my stuff work on a Romulan? And she's like, well, you're a different species, but I can kind of take a little bit from here and make it work and save this Romulan or whatever. And he's like, no.
Obviously they're biologically compatible in other ways because they've made babies together before.
True. That's true. There's at least one hybrid we know of that comes along later. Yeah, so there's all that. There's everything on the planet too with Geordi and Bakra and kind of getting a sense of who the Romulans really are. What their society is and what their values are. You're just talking about
they throw away their defective babies.
You spend time on defective children. No wonder you suck. But these two do kind of forge this connection down there. And we've covered Tomalak. So this was I really enjoyed this. I was like, wow, this is even better than I remembered it. And how strong the script was. Any other thoughts?
The script is strong. However, sending 3 people down to this planet. Like, first of all, why would they even be down there in those kind of conditions? Then they sent Geordi off on his own to get lost and fall in a hole. There's some weakness here.
There's some weakness in how they get there, but it happens pretty fast, and you're kind of go, okay, I guess. There's also, the splitting up things, the fact that Geordi doesn't know that there are Romulans here because that information is only specific to Worf and Riker up until a certain point, until Geordi gets beat over the back of the head by Bakra. He as far as he knows, he's alone on the planet. The fact that they don't have any kind of away team gear for harsh conditions in this show at this point. Like now when we watch Discovery or these the newer shows, even Strange New Worlds, which is set before this, they have amazing away team vests and tactical gear and helmets and everything else. They're no, you just go down with your uniform and there's gonna be sand in your boots and you're gonna be filthy when you get back, and that's it. One set of clothes, that's it for the entire time and space. Romulans come more in season 4 and 5. Is Ted coming on? We'll see. He wants to come back for the Borg.
Not right now.
Not right today. But I know I'll let him know you're asking about him. Okay.
Don't hold your breath there, Sam.
Yeah. Pretty weird. I don't know. There's some aliens. Okay, let's get into the screenshots and break down the plot of the episode. As we beam down to Galorndon Core. I don't know if I'm ever saying that right, but and it's a stormy planet. Hard to see anywhere around us. We see that Riker has one of these transporter enhancers. I think this is the first time we ever see one. It's one of the first times, and so they can beam back up. They talked about it's not just raining here, but there's some kind of ion storm also happening, the magnetic field. And so they're looking for whatever was the cause of this distress call. It was kind of an ambiguous distress call. They don't know where it came from, but this is a Federation planet technically near the neutral zone. So they're looking around. They eventually find this wreckage here on the surface with their great flashlights.
Stupid flashlights. I can't stand these flashlights. It makes no sense to me. And I can't even believe in 1980, whatever year this was, 1989, that these were functional. Even then, we
don't have flashlights that shape now.
No, we like the idea of a handle on a flashlight. Yes, it holds the batteries, but it can also helps point it around easier. And so, it just kind of looks a little strange. It would be nice if they had those Discovery style vests with the lights built right into them. Yeah.
Or even headlamps. I feel like if you're going away down to a planet like this, you want both your hands free.
In 1989, we had headlights. Headlamps.
Yeah.
Even just strap it to your head, your chest, whatever.
Yes.
It would be fine, but I don't know. They couldn't think that way. But once they get to put those amazing flashlights on the wreckage, they see some characters here, which I wouldn't necessarily be able to identify those right away, but Worf can. Those are Romulan markings. And they say, okay, well, what are they doing here? This is not exactly next door to the Romulan space. It's a half a light year. It's not exactly that far. But they also figure out that the ship was deliberately destroyed. It wasn't in the pieces because of this. They crashed here, sent a distress call, and then blew it up themselves. So they decide to split up to go see if they can find anything here, knowing that they have to be back in 4 minutes for the beam out. Or so. Worf's going along. He's the one to find the Romulan. The first of the 2 Romulans. We never get a name for this particular Romulan, but
his name's Patak, which is kind of weird.
You Patak. So Worf says, he goes over Riker, and as soon as this Romulan wakes up, he immediately tries to strangle Worf. He's not a fan of Klingons, I guess. Worf is in a little bit. He's not injured like this guy, so Worf, is able to use one of his coveted palm strikes to knock him out and send him out there. So then he calls over Riker. They decide, okay, well, we better take him back, I guess. What the hell is he doing here? Meanwhile, Geordi's I don't know what Geordi was doing. He was just wandering around, but he falls through a hole in the ground. Watch your step, and lands face first in some mud in the bottom of this cave shaft.
Notice that the visor's on his right shoulder.
Yes, it's right on his right side there. So when Worf and Riker and the Romulan get back to the beam out point, they're like, well, where's Geordi? Worf stays behind briefly, and Geordi is looking for his visor.
He finds it on his left shoulder.
Oh, that's why you pointed that out. Yeah, he does find it on the left side. Continuity. What the hell? So he starts calling for help at the bottom of the shaft, which he can't easily get out of, although he will get out of it in a bit. He's calling for Commander Riker or Worf or whoever to come. I couldn't help but get some flashes to Shades of Grey, where it was like, Commander Riker, where are you?
So again, I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys caught this, but everybody calls Worf Worf. Worf, Worf. He's yelling for Worf. Not Lieutenant Commander Worf or Lieutenant Worf at this point. But Commander Riker has always got the commander.
Yeah, they just remind us he's a commander.
Even Picard does that. He calls him Mr. Worf.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Spock. Like sometimes he was called Commander Spock, but generally he was always called Spock.
Okay, wait. Worf and Spock are nowhere near the same.
It's one syllable.
True.
So that's probably the only thing they have in common there. And one name. Anyway, so Riker can't find Geordi.
He's so angry at that flashlight.
Yeah. He's like, this stupid thing, I gotta hold it like this and find Geordi? Come on.
Doesn't even give off that much light.
No.
And you can't, he says you can't see more than 2 meters in front of you. So eventually Riker has to give it up, and he comes back, and Worf wants to go out and look for him, but Worf says, stand your ground, Worf. We have to call it a day and leave Geordi here in the storm. As they beam up to there, and Geordi is stranded here at the bottom of the cave shaft.
Worf, Commander Riker.
Yeah, and then he realizes nobody's coming, and Geordi's sad. And that is our teaser for the episode. Not a bad setup.
We never see Geordi again.
Yeah, he's still down there, just like, Commander Riker. Get our title card after the credits. The enemy. Okay.
Again, I don't like, if you can beam them to sickbay, why don't you beam them to sickbay? but I love seeing the new technology. This is great. We never saw this again.
Yeah, like this bio bed thing. It's a stretcher. It seems to be like almost like a hovercraft. I think that's.
But it needs three people to drive it.
It's really on wheels, but it's futuristic, I guess, in itself.
I know why they wouldn't see it again, because it takes 3 of them to drive it around. It doesn't.
Yeah, 3 of them to pick up the Romulan and put him in there. Worf
could have just flung him in.
Worf says, "Put security on him 24/7. Never take your
beamed him right onto the stretcher." Which probably would have been safer, because what if he has a spinal injury? They're just picking him up willy-nilly like that?
Or right to sick bay.
Well, the reason we're here in the transporter room is, 1, so we can see a cool biobed thing. And then 2, it's so that Riker can give O'Brien shit for saying, what the hell?
Another thing, have you ever seen Riker so mad?
He was so aggressive this episode. I loved it.
Yeah, but you don't see that. Look, he's even red in the face here.
Oh, yeah. And O'Brien's like, there's some sensor ghost down there. He's like, beam up the ghost. Some of them might be Geordi. It's, I think Riker's feeling the guilt. Get up there. He's like, I'm trying. I loved my parents. What do you want from me?
Just nothing happens to him in this episode. He just gets hollered at anyway.
Yeah. He's got nothing else to do. And Riker's so intense. Riker led the mission, and the splitting up was kind of dumb.
Riker's so upset with him, he's going to marry him.
Will you marry me, Mr. O'Brien? Anyway, so then afterwards, we got Riker and Picard talking about what they saw down there. I wish Riker's clothes were a little bit more disheveled from being down there, but
and his hair messy from the air. Like, there's a lot of soot flying around down there, so a lot of debris.
Yeah, I think
his rage put it back into place.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so they're saying, okay, we found the Romulan wreckage. We found this Romulan. What could this mean? And there's a bit of a mystery here, but they're kind of on high alert. Like the military senses, especially in Riker and Picard, are activated. Moving forward here, this tense situation. Meanwhile, we go down to the planet where Geordi is still stuck by himself at this point, and he's looking around with his visor. He's looking at the wall of the cave, and he's seeing all these, I think they're iron deposits or some kind of a metal. And he gets this idea that he can kind of take the metal. He will wash them off in the mud or the puddles here, and eventually use his face. Well, first he forms a mold in the mud, which is a nice trick. And he puts all like the little iron ore things, and he makes a little like spike thing so he can climb out of the cave. He'll make 2 of these later on, and hey, gotta give the guy credit for the ingenuity. Mm-hmm.
His visor always does super cool things like this, and it's always because of his visor that he is able to save himself and stuff, because it can see things that I feel like a visor-like technology is something that should be on all away missions that seeing people can also look through.
Yeah. Or how about this, Ashley, that the people on the bridge can actually see it on screen?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So they give us a few of his point of view, his body cam point of view, a couple times in this episode. Although I'm still trying to sometimes understand. Like he sees radiation, he sees EM waves, he sees these different things, but like the need to wash the mud off is the mud interfering with his sight of it? Like if he was in a dark room, would it matter? Sometimes I wonder, or would he still be able to see around?
No, the answer is no. Like, and the mud shouldn't matter either.
Yeah.
So you think that he would be able to see in a dark room, or he wouldn't be able to?
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, not only that, he can change.
They had him analyzing things out the window.
Yeah.
They do. They often have him looking out like into space or whatever. So.
But remember too, like on the surface before he fell through the hole, he was talking about, I'm going to do a positron scan. Like you can change the setting.
He can kind of look at different settings or different
bands, like bands of light.
Right. Like they don't delve into that a ton in this series. It was more in like the first couple seasons, and then like this is a 3rd season example. But I feel like this kind of will diminish more and more as time goes on. Anyway, so Geordi's making his little spikes. Meanwhile, back up on the Enterprise, Dr. Crusher is working in sickbay here, while Riker and Picard are looking over, the Romulan, trying to say like, if we could really talk to him about why he was down there, that'd be great. And she was like, well, he's probably going to die from the exposure to the magnetic field on the planet, and some of his other cells have been, will he live? And she's like, I don't know. Maybe not. We're hard to say. We don't treat Romulans every day. So she says, I can wake him up for a few minutes. And Riker gets the interrogation here of the Romulan over the biobed.
Such a dick here, too.
Yeah, guy wakes up and Riker's just like, what the hell, man?
What the hell? Why are you on our planet? He was like, you can go to hell. I don't care. He's like, should we tell your mothership where you are? He's like, you can. And then he kind of passes out. He's like, I won't answer your questions. But the only question he does answer is to say he was alone, which then Riker Picard goes, that means he definitely wasn't alone, because you could count that he would lie about the one thing he would tell us. So there might be another Romulan down there. They're starting to put that piece together. Meanwhile, we got Geordi now mountain climbing here up cliff with his newly made metal spikes. Hey, pretty good. Good upper body strength there from Geordi LaForge.
Who would have ever thought Geordi had that in him?
Yeah, I don't think I could do this, like what he's doing here. Like,
you could definitely do it. I couldn't do it. But that's major strength.
You need major upper body strength for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, it definitely tires him out. He kind of, he's like, woo, that was a workout by the time he's finished. But and now he's like, he's not, he's dirty at this point. He'll get dirtier as the time goes on here. Then we got Riker back up on the Enterprise. They're trying to figure out what to do, and he's like yelling at Wesley and Data. He's like, I don't know, come up with something. We got to save Geordi, right? I think it's Wesley who comes up with the idea of like this neutrino beacon, something only Geordi would be able to see. But something he would obviously be able to be attracted to, and they're like, Data backs it up, so they're like, yeah, right. Picard's like, yeah, do that. Send
again, what I did like about this is like Wesley is a weird character because you don't why is he on the bridge? He's not even uniformed. He's in this stupid.
He's an acting ensign.
He's not sure, but every now and then he becomes he's given something good. He solves a problem that even Data did.
It's strange that like he thought of this and Data didn't, and even later on Wesley knows it's Wesley's idea, not Data's.
Yeah, I said that when we were watching the episode.
Yeah, I know.
How does he know it's Wesley?
Oh, Wesley Crusher.
He's like, Data knows nothing about neutrinos. I don't know, whatever his logic was there. Anyway, so they're working on that. Meanwhile, Data detects, hey, there's a transmission coming in here. There's a Romulan, and this is our first sight of Tomalak. He's responding to the distress call. He's trying to reach Bakra and the other Romulan guy. Basically saying like, "Are you okay?" Showing like compassion for his comrades. I think the other thing that this episode really reinforces to me is that the Romulans care just as much about their crew members as like the Starfleet crew care about theirs, right? Like just how Riker's very concerned about Geordi, they're very concerned about their people. So they're coming, and Picard's like, "Oh, great, the Romulans are coming, amazing." This didn't get more complicated. As we get a transition to the bridge, and I think this is where Picard's like calling out into space. He's like, "Hey, hello, Commander Tomalak. We got your transmission. You are not allowed to cross the neutral zone. You should know that already, but just in case you didn't know, definitely don't do that." And there's no response, and he's like, "If you do that, we're gonna have to meet up." And he's like, "Hey, it's you.
Hello, Jean-Luc.
Hello, my old friend. Yes,
Captain Picard. My apologies.
Yes." And he said, I never thought I didn't know you would be here. We had a slight navigational error with our ship.
I'm sure you will understand when I explain. One of our ships had a slight navigational error and apparently crashed on Galorndon Core.
Slight navigational error? Nearly half a light year past the neutral zone.
I assure you, Captain, no aggression was intended.
Yeah, no aggression. Although, and Riker and Picard did have a line of dialogue earlier. They said, like, if you were going to launch an attack into the Federation space, a good place might be this planet.
Galorndon Core.
Galorndon Core to have a base of operations. Anyway, so he says, "We found your guy," and he's like, "Is he alive?" And he's like, "He's kind of iffy." And he's like, "Well, you better bring him to me right away." He's like, "I can't. I got a guy down on the planet. I'm trying to get him out." So he's like, "Well, you better bring him to me." First of all, the Federation, like, I guess this should be left to ambassadors, but like they're dealing with it all, and they're like, "Well, we can't." And he's like, "If you don't bring him to me, meet me at the border, then big trouble." It's kind of like the threat here from Tomalak. We get Counselor Troy. She doesn't have a lot of lines in this episode, but she does say to Picard after reading Tomalak, he's like, "He might seem nice and happy, but he's a mean old Romulan. You don't want to mess with this guy." He's got a lot of aggression behind that smile. And what are they going to do now? I think Worf's got his ultimate, like, we can't trust these Romulans. Worf's always ready to fight the Romulans, 100%. So they're trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what the conclusion of this was. I think they want to get an away team going here. Meanwhile, down in sickbay, Dr. Crusher says the medications aren't working. Nothing. In order to save him, Captain, I'm going to have to test everybody on the crew and figure out who could be a compatible donor for these ribo something or others that he needs to live.
So he's got a shortage of riboflavin.
Riboflavin.
Oh, you just need some Cheerios.
Yeah,
exactly. If you just had some Cheerios. Anyway, then Wesley Crusher
shows up. You need to go back in time and get 2 boxes of Cheerios and bring them forward in time so they can make baby boxes of Cheerios.
Is that how it works? Okay.
Repopulate the Cheerios.
Keeps the Romulans away.
Of course, riboflavin. Well, and guess what goes with that? Neutrinos. Wesley Crusher here with his neutrino probe.
And his new haircut, by the way.
he's
Pushed back and combed backwards now.
He's going. Isn't the best screenshot of Wesley? I'm sorry. Anyway, so then they fire the probe down with the neutrinos down to the planet. Meanwhile, Geordi's he's traveling. I don't know what distance across from the original beam-in point, but it seems like a far trek. He's like moving across caves and like near the edge of this lake or river or whatever it is. Make it going along here. Data confirms that the neutrino beacon is down there, and Geordi's making his way along, hiding in this cave corner here. But he eventually, looking out into the dark sky, which for normal sighted people would be not possible. But he can see the neutrino pulse. He knows it's Wesley Crusher. Of course, it was Wesley. No other person on the Enterprise could come up with that idea. Only me. So he says, "Thank you, Wesley Crusher. Let's head over here." So as he's heading into his salvation, he hopes we see I love this shot too, where we see Geordi just walking along, and all of a sudden we see a lightning strike, and then there's this other pair of boots behind him.
The rubber boots.
Rubber boots. Yeah.
Right. With the pointed tips on them too.
It helps keep the sand out of them.
It does. That's why your people are weak. You don't know how to keep sand out of your boots. Anyway, so Geordi going along here, and then he gets hit, I think, by a rock or a fist or something, and he's down for the count on the floor. And we get our first shot of Bakra, who's looking quite menacing at this point, looking over him. There's a commercial break, pause, and then we come back, and now Bakra has the phaser disruptor pistol on Geordi as he's waking up.
Did you guys find any the way he was sitting kind of unsettling?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like he's gonna take a poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to be like more predatory, perhaps, or more intimidating in the ways. Yeah, but
it doesn't. It looks like you could just knock him over. Just a little tap and he would just fall over.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Into his own poop.
Into his own poop. Well, that's why the Romulans will one day conquer the galaxy. Maybe. I think it's interesting, too, that something that I hadn't really put together, but watching this episode tonight, Geordi keeps calling him Commodore the whole time, which isn't even a Romulan rank.
Yeah, then he's Centurion at the end.
He's like, you can call me Centurion Bakra or whatever, You
really believe that stuff, don't you, Commodore?
Keeps calling him Commodore. And later on in Star Trek Picard season 3, we see that Geordi by that point has become promoted to Commodore. So it came full circle.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Anyway, so Geordi's like, well, guess what? My whole fleet's in orbit. All the Enterprise, it's not just the Enterprise here, but the whole Federation's here. So you're going to have to deal with that. He's like, you're lying. I never lie when there's sand in my boots or whatever Geordi tells
Commodore.
us. Yeah.
Shoes are getting full of sand. I just hate that, don't you?
Don't you?
I never lie when I've got sand in my shoes.
He's like, shut up! Let's move. So it's got the. Then all of a sudden, a rock slide comes kind of out of nowhere, seemingly, and it lands directly onto Bakra, missing Geordi completely, which was very convenient here. But Bakra never drops the phaser or the disruptor.
No, and Geordi never
takes it from him.
Yeah, like at this point, I'm like, Geordi, you get that disruptor. And then you can help it, but you get the weapon first.
He's an engineer, not a security guard.
Damn it!
I get it's not his.
He's still alive.
If he wants to survive, like this is what's going to be involved. Anyway, so he's like, okay, well now that I've helped,
he plays the alternative good guy role all the time. Geordi's just a good guy.
He's just pure, right? He's just pure good. Anyway, so
that's why women never like him. Going back to last week,
that's why Christy wouldn't go for him. She's like, you're nice, but come on.
You're too nice.
You wouldn't take a disruptor off a Romulan who just had it pointed at you, would you? Anyway, so then when he gets the Romulan in the cave, Bakra then immediately points the disruptor right back at him. He's like, really? No good deed goes unpunished. Fine. He's like, you have to sit. I'm not going to put up with any more of your shit when you call me Commodore. He's like, all right, fine. And then he pours all this sand out of his boots, which was a good moment, I thought, in the episode. We go back to the Enterprise where Worf is called by Dr. Crusher. And
like the big smile on Crusher's face. Hi, Worf.
Worf's like, what do you want? And she's like, hey, I'm so happy to see you. I think she knows that this is going to be a hard sell coming into it. She didn't just meet Worf. Yeah, and she's like, well, guess what? We're doing those tests, and turns out you're a perfect donor. And he's like, what? I'm a Klingon. He's a Romulan. Well, yeah, but it's great. So isn't that amazing? We can save his life, And she was like, well, that's why we were testing you for this. He's like, I don't have a problem with tests. I have a problem with being a donor. And she's like, oh, well, that's no good. She's definitely to Ashley's earlier point where she's being like unprofessional and unethical. I agree. I think in her mind, she's like, my job as a doctor is to save the patient no matter what, despite the personal concerns of anyone else. Not quite that far, but I think she's leaning more towards that side.
I think she's acting like any doctor would act. Like, if you had somebody that came in that had not become an organ donor, but that they have a good heart for another candidate, I think they're going to put pressure on.
So
but they're not allowed to. They could lose their medical license if they are pressuring family or someone specifically to donate to a patient.
Yeah. Well,
they are not allowed to. They are allowed to ask, but as soon as either the person that they're asking to donate or the family of a deceased person says no, that's it. They're not allowed to pressure.
Gotta check my wallet and make sure on my license I have it signed because I gotta.
Yeah, and
in Canada, you can be assigned as a donor, but you have to make sure that your next of kin is aware that you want to be a donor, because after you're deceased, your next of kin can say no.
Right.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for that. Yeah. Seriously, thank you for that.
Well, Worf would like you to show up here for him and say, can you talk to Ashley Millard, please, Dr. Crusher? And so she's like stunned, but she really shouldn't be. Anyway, so he walks out and he's like, nope, he'll have to die. Sorry. And then we go back to the Romulan and Geordi on the planet, where they're talking about Romulan philosophy. This is like the whole thing about the Romulan Empire being great, that Romulan path to glory.
The Romulan path to glory.
Yes. He says, in a few millennia when we conquer you.
But in a few millennia when humans are extinct and the Romulan Empire spans the galaxy.
And he's like, yeah, I really believe that stuff. He's like, you guys suck. But then we see that he's starting to cough and he's getting sick. Geordi can tell that his body temperature is fluctuating and going up. And they're talking about his visor. He's like, you're blind? How'd this happen to you? I think I got that clip here. Romulan and Geordi.
Without it, you're blind.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
I was born that way.
And your parents let you live?
What kind of question is that? Of course they let me live.
No wonder your race is weak. You waste time and resources on defective children.
Well, the Romulans are hardcore. Like the Spartans, I guess. So they're not necessarily getting along here. But then Geordi's starting to detect that his visor's being interfered with, I think. I thought it was interesting because they're inside the cave, but he can still see that neutrino pulse like through the cave walls. So that's another indication.
There must not be any mud on those cave walls.
Must not. You can't see through mud, but he can see through solid rock.
How often do you think he looks through people's clothes?
Oh, Geordi? All the time.
Like, I feel like serving on the Enterprise is a real invasion of privacy, because you got Troy walking around who knows the emotions of every single person on board at all times.
True.
And then Geordi can literally look. You're not even safe in your room, apparently. He can look through walls.
It's like kind of like, being friends with Superman. who's actually Vision.
It's sort of like this is why I think women don't gravitate towards him, because they know he's a little creepy.
Right,
Well,
right.
I mean, yeah, like the holodeck.
Yeah.
Leah Brahms proves that.
That was last week. That was last episode. So, yeah, we won't through all that. So anyway, Geordi's visor malfunctioning, but yes, we get this other revelation that he could see through walls and everything else. That never really comes up much. Again,
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Anyway, so yeah, he's saying like we need to leave, but Bakra's saying we're not going anywhere. We're staying right here in this cave, slowly dying. Sit down and shut up, basically, and that's what Geordi does. Well, he's got the disruptor on it. Meanwhile, back on the Enterprise, Riker continuing his micromanagement, dickish behavior. He's like, "What's that? What's that?" You know.
Imagine your boss sitting behind you.
Oh my god, Kevin, I would freak out if this was my
We
boss.
need to, Dave. We need to do this as a radio theater. Just to use this screenshot as the thumbnail.
Yeah, and we'll put like a caption, like, "Are you? Is there any ghosts down there? Beam some of them up. One might be Geordi."
I hear there's things as sex ghosts. Speaking them up.
I have had bosses like this who have done this to me. It's never fun.
Stop breathing in my ear.
Yeah.
This is what it is like when I have to go to a client's home. They always watch what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really irritating.
Yeah. He's like, that's nothing, Riker. And then Riker goes over and he starts doing it to Data, right? Who probably can handle it better than Wesley. Meanwhile, we got to call. He
doesn't do it to Worf, by the way.
He doesn't try to do it with Worf.
No.
Anyway, we got the hail here from Tomalak, and Tomalak's like, "Why aren't you at the border? We said we would be at the border. What the hell?" And he's like, "Listen, I'm trying to get my guy, and your Romulan guy's kind of sick, and he's not doing so well." He's like, there's no one down there, right?
What? What are you telling me?
What? And then he's like, "Okay, well, I'm coming. I'm coming to the Galorndon Core." He's like, "You are not allowed to come here. This is like, you have to stay on your side of the border. That is the treaty." That's
okay, so we know that Picard would cross the line.
He would totally. If he had two guys over there, yeah, he would totally cross. Just like Tomalak is, right? And I think to a certain extent Picard gets that. But, he still has to say, you cannot do this. That is, Romulan
posturing is necessary, but he knows Tomalak's coming.
He knows he's coming, and what can he really stop? He can call maybe for reinforcements, but that's never really brought up. Anyway, so Tomalak is planning to come to the planet, cross the neutral zone, and then we go back to the cave, and this is where Geordi's still appealing to Bakra. This is the conversation where he'll eventually convince Bakra to stop pointing the disruptor at him and just to start working together. He's like, your nervous system's fried. I can't see. Your legs are stopping to work. Like the Romulan is in bad shape here. And everything else. So eventually he convinces him to stand down and work together and actually try to get out of the cave together. So they start going along, and as soon as they go, there's a kind of a oh shit moment here from Geordi where he goes, my visor's not working anymore. The diagnostic says it's working, but I can't see. I'm completely blind. We'll come back to that. So then we get the Worf Riker scene that comes up here, and I get this is completely spontaneous. Because it doesn't seem like Riker called Worf here to talk. It seems like Worf was just walking by and just stopped in on his friend, and so rings the doorbell. Riker's doing something on his laptop or whatever, and he's like, "I'm disturbing." He's like, "No, come on in. I want to talk to you anyway." And he takes a shot right before. He's got a chat here with.
I feel like a lot of people do that before they talk to War.
Yeah, he's like, I've been lining these up just in case you came by, and he's like, just so you know, I get it. I get why you're bitter. I think this is one of my favorite, one of my favorite scenes ever. Like so well written, so well done.
For what it's worth, I understand your bitterness.
With respect, sir, you cannot. I am asked to give up the very lifeblood of my mother and my father to those who murdered them.
So you blame all Romulans for that?
Yes.
Forever.
And then he pauses. He goes, well, maybe not forever. Right? Like the Worf's anger, his rage, his hatred. Like, I think to him, there are some limits to it. Or when he actually thinks about it. Which is, and I think that the next conversation talking about the Federation Klingon conflict, he's like, well, what if one day there's peace between us, right?
What if someday the Federation made peace with the Romulans?
Impossible.
That's what your people said a few years ago about humans. Think how many died on both sides in that war. Would you and I be here now like this if we hadn't been able to let go of the anger and the blame? Where does it end, Worf? If that Romulan dies, does his family carry the bitterness on another generation?
And the cycle of violence and the cycle of bitterness and everything else. And I think that's like Worf hasn't changed his mind per se, but he's starting to come around to this idea that like extending the olive branch here, maybe saving this Romulan might change the course of history.
Well, I think this conversation is the reason he goes to talk to the Romulan.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because he wouldn't even bothered with that, right? So he's willing to say, okay, I'm opening up my mind here. Maybe the Romulans aren't all so bad, right? You know, and maybe I should not be all held up with this. So he goes to sick bay, and then the Romulan is coming here. Dr. Crusher, not too happy with Worf through her body language. You can pretty much tell. You know, she's like, well, he's gonna be dead soon. So you want to talk to him? I think you should. Just so you know who you're killing. Not the nicest thing.
Plan backfires, I guess.
That backfire, yeah. So he's like, "Hey, Romulan, what's up?" He's like, "I can save you with something in my cells." He's like, "You think I want to beg for my life?" He's like, "No, I can save you." He's like, "Well, listen here. Come here, Klingon. I would rather die than pollute my body with Klingon filth." It's pretty dramatic, you know. I think this is a done deal at this point, unless you can convince the Romulan to, it's in his best interest to agree to this. You have to get both people to agree to this. Is the key, and it would be better if they both, if the Romulan doesn't die, like that's later the appeal that Picard will try with Worf. He's like, you're the tactical officer. Just tactically, he's more valuable to us alive than dead, right? And Worf's like, yeah. For sure. You know, but I don't want to be the one to have to save him. And so,
but Worf also believes in honorable death, and he would want to give anyone the death that they would want, rather than force them to live.
You're right. If you want to die as a warrior, then Worf would honor that, right? Yeah, sort of thing. And that seems to be what this Romulan's philosophy is. Like. It seems like Bakra and this Romulan are a little different in their philosophy. Maybe this guy's a bit more of an extremist, where Bakra was a bit more, he says all the Romulan talking points, but maybe he doesn't.
This Romulan must have sand in his shoes.
This Romulan is the Worf of Romulans.
Yeah.
He's taking it a little bit to the extreme, whereas the other Romulans would probably look at him and go, "All right, relax.
Yeah,
drink and sing too."
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, exactly. I don't know if all Romulans would, go for this. I don't think so. Anyway, then we got Geordi and Bakra down on the planet trying to figure out what they're going to do now. Because Geordi can't see, they can't find the neutrino pulse, and Bakra can't walk. And he's like, do all humans give up this easy? You know, he starts giving Geordi shit, and he's like, what do you want me to do? I can't see, and I can't, do anything without my hand, I can't just do everything by feeling it, right? I got to be able to see some things. And he's like, well, your visor can detect it, and you have just the tricorder. Why don't you just hook them up? And he goes, that's crazy. It would never work. Well, actually, maybe it would. Good idea. Maybe we can get this going. So good teamwork here. They're better off working together than against each other. We head up to the bridge where Picard is now dealing with the Romulans approaching. They are entering the system, and they are coming in hot. So Picard, he yells for red alert, and it is the confrontation time here with the Romulans. We pivot back to the Bakra and Geordi, who are hooking up the tricorder and the visor. This is also one of my favorite things. Just like the problem solving, the way that makes sense here. It's such a simple solution, right? And what they have to do here. And Bakra is the only one who can see, so he's doing it while Geordi's guiding him and explaining it to him. And then he's like, I got the bearing, and then Geordi's like, yeah, man, look at us.
But why is Geordi mounting him while he does this?
He's very excited.
He's very excited.
It's just saying he can't see. Like, does he need to see the device? He can't see. So what?
I
He's
guess
learned this maneuver from Riker.
Yeah, I guess, right.
He's learned
He's micromanaging.
On top of the fact that we know that, well, at least Vulcans have better hearing than humans, and presumably Romulans do too. But you know, so he probably could be a little further away.
I wonder if Romulans think we smell too.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's why you defective people, you smelly people. Yeah, that could come up too. But
You're blind and you smell. You're useless.
But we know that Romulans do have these subtle differences. I want to really understand what the biological differences are between Romulans and Vulcans.
I want more Romulan content.
But good.
Me too.
No.
Like good Romulan content.
Yes, like
Not
I
Picard.
want them.
Picard was
No.
terrible.
I want them to develop the Romulans in a series like Deep Space Nine developed the Cardassians.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, for sure. I think that this is like some of the best Romulan content is TNG specifically.
But they abandoned it for the Borg.
Yeah. It comes up a little more in season 7, but it's pretty sporadic. Like the Pegasus is a good example, and like there are some, but and then in Deep Space Nine, once the Romulans and them all team up right against the Dominion, it kind of feels like the era.
They're a very small part of DS9 though, even after they join.
Yeah,
for sure. But it feels like kind of like the idea of like the Cold War with the Romulans is almost kind of over. But then I guess they tried to bring that back with Nemesis, and well, know how that went. Anyway, so they're heading off here. They need to get moving. Bakra can't walk, so Geordi, even though he can't see, has to kind of be the legs and get him out of here, carry him out of here, and they desperately need each other to survive this situation. We get the scene here with Worf and Picard. He's like, "Yeah, I heard you won't be the donor, and I don't want to order you to do it, but this is what I was saying. He was saying like tactically, that he's better off alive to us than dead. Like the ramifications of he dies and there's a war that gets started here are big. So we just want you to think about all those factors here before we move on." Worf's like, if you order me to do it, I'll do it. And Picard's like, I don't want to order you to do it. That would not be the right result either. So eventually Worf says, nope, I'm not going to do it voluntarily. And Picard says, well, that's that then. Dismissed.
Yeah.
And so
it's a good scene. I like the conclusion of this when he just is like, that will be all.
That'll be all. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the discussion's over.
And most people would crush under like your captain not telling you, but telling you.
Yeah, or like for sure, and Picard's kind of like even a father figure to Worf, right? So it's
you don't want to disappoint the captain.
No, he does not, and he even says in this like Worf, you wouldn't complain if you had reason to, like you're always about duty and doing whatever we want you to do or I want you to do, and I do want you to do this, but I'm not going to make you do it. So interesting conclusion for that. So
it's funny that they never sent in Deanna to talk to him about it.
Yeah, Deanna doesn's have a scene with him about it at all. Yeah, instead it's Riker. So then Picard calls down to Crusher. He goes, "Well, I want you to stop asking Worf because this we beat this horse to death. It's not happening." She goes, "Don't worry, the Romulan died," and I think like the other thing I was like Patrick Stewart. Like I think other actors would have went, "Oh no, the Romulan died," but like his performance is so subtle. It's so like. Yeah, his reaction is barely there, and it feels very real.
It's concerned and calculating. Like, what do I do now?
Yeah, he's thinking about okay, Nick, this is not good. This is going from bad to worse, and it could even get worse if we end up in battle here with the Romulan warbird, right? So, and what could come from next after that? So, catch up here with Bakra and Geordi back on the planet as they head towards this neutrino probe. They're making their way over. Then back to the Enterprise where Picard is kind of twitching his hands and pacing back and forth. Wesley says, "We haven't found Geordi yet. Geordi hasn't like modified the beam yet, so we haven't found him yet." And just then, Tomalak and the Warbird is here. And oh man, I love it. Every time I see the Warbird, man, it's a sexy ship. I love it. It's so intimidating. So So green, you know. Gotta love green. So anyway.
So green.
Green is the most intimidating color.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you got those green glows there. Anyway, Tomalak's pissed. He's like, where's my guy? And Picard's like, he's dead. Then prepare to die. It's going on here. They start powering up their disruptors. Picard gets ready for the battle. He has to raise the shield, so he can't. Even if they find Geordi, they can't beam him up. I think this is just maybe when Wesley says, "Oh yeah, we found him. He found it." Like the signal just changed. So even though now is the moment they can save Wesley, they can't lower the shields to deal with it.
Did you know that scene earlier when Riker and Picard were talking about the potential of this happening? In Next Gen, I always loved how they always took something relevant from our history. In this case, he said, well, what about Pearl Harbor? And then he started something about we have no idea. But
there was some other like a fictional event, basically, right? Well, they could have solved this crisis, I want to point out, just by saying like, okay, how about we detach the saucer section, and then we're going to warp to the neutral zone. We're going to drop off the Romulan guy to him, and then we're going to come back while the saucer section, waits to beam up Geordi, right? Like basically, in case he shows
I think
up.
Picard forgets that the Enterprise can detach.
Yeah, I think the writers forget.
And that he has a yacht.
I think yes.
Right, because they need to be in two places at once, and there's you could separate the ship, you could use the shuttlecrafts. There's also that captain's yacht that comes out of the bottom of the section. None of these are discussed as options.
Yeah, they have like 12 ships.
Yeah.
They have ways of doing this, but no. Anyway, so we're getting ready for battle here, and I think it's. Oh yeah, and Data picks up the fact that there's another life form with Geordi. I can't tell if it's a Romulan, but probably is. And so this is where Picard says, "Put on your best poker face, Riker. We're gonna fool these Romulans into, we're gonna bluff our way out of this."
That's Riker's best poker face.
That is actually.
It's not great either.
Not great either. Anyway, he says, okay, they're not answering here. And he's like, hey, Tomalak.
Put on your best poker face, number one. Open a frequency. Commander Tomalak, both our ships are ready to fight.
Hello.
We have two extremely powerful and destructive arsenals at our command. Our next actions will have serious repercussions. We have good reason to mistrust one another, but we have even better reason to set those differences aside. Now, of course, the question is, who will take the initiative? Who will make the first gesture of trust? The answer is, I will.
And he's like, lower the shields, everyone. Hopefully we're not all about to die. He's taking big risk here. And so he lowers the shield to beam up Geordi and the Romulan, put them right on the bridge. Don't send them to sickbay. Because once they beam up, and the shields are back.
They seem to be totally fixed immediately.
Yeah, they do. They both Geordi can see again. Bakr can walk again. So it was just
the other guy had to die, but these guys were fine as soon as they were on the bridge.
Yeah, I guess the other Romulan got it rough. I don't know.
He crashed. I guess he didn't crash as hard.
Yeah, maybe this guy and how they got separated too was never really explained, but. Anyway, so he's like, nobody will hurt you, Mr. Romulan. And Geordi's like, you can bet on that. He's my pal. We just got off the planet together. So calls over to Tomalak and he's like, hey, put him on there. He's like, hey, good to see you, man. Props to Romulans. I haven't told them shit. And all is good, right? Now, I feel like the fact that they're going to return this guy without interrogating him. Kind of crazy, but it's
maybe it's the right thing to do in this moment, though.
It probably is, yeah. Anyway, so Tom was like, okay, I'll stop pointing my guns at you. The disruptors are turned down. He's like, you can have your guy back, and we can call it a day. And we avoided a war, aren't we cool? No Pearl Harbor.
He's like, how is it you didn't know that there was a second person down on Galorndon Core? He's like, I must have been misinformed to the size of the craft.
Of course. He's like, amazingly, your one-man craft has 2 survivors. Like, how'd that happen? Yeah, that was a great line. Anyway, so Bakra and Geordi head down to the transporter room together. We don't really get this is kind of like the extent of their goodbye. They have a little like smile here in exchange and mutual respect. And Worf and Geordi escort him to the transporter room.
Tracking the mud across the ship.
Yeah, well, the cleaners are going to be pissed. So
we have to clean it up so Geordi can see through it.
Can't see their mud. Can't see. I would just kick myself in mud all the time. You can't see through the mud, right? Gotta wash this off the rocks. I'm gonna just put it in my nuts, maybe. Anyway, so then that is the end of the episode. As the Enterprises go to escort the Romulan warbird back to the neutral zone. And call it a day. And that is the end of the episode in screenshots. So, power through. Now, Adam, you said you would have some fun facts for us in this episode.
I do indeed. Oh, no. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm back. I haven't seen you guys forever. Some way all the screenshots disappeared, and I just have black screen. So, welcome back to my screen.
Weird.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started here, guys. We have some good ones. So first of all, this is the first of four appearances by Andreas Katsulas as Commander.
4?
Yes, and I'll tell you what episodes. He played in The Enemy, which we just watched. The Defector, that is my favorite Romulan episode.
That's coming up this season.
Yeah, The Defector is a great episode.
I love that. The guy who played the Defector, was it Jalak or I can't remember.
Yeah, Jalak. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he was also on Babylon 5.
Oh, well, naturally. But anyway, he was amazing. That guy was so great in that episode. Future Imperfect, he was a hologram. Remember that episode, Future Imperfect?
Oh, right. So it's not really him, but it's the same actor. Yeah, that's right. Tomalak comes back in Future Imperfect.
And he was in All Good Things as well.
And he's in the finale. Yeah. How long must we stare at each other from across the neutral zone? And
yeah.
And then he was in a ton of books and a ton of other stuff over the years. So I mean, his character was well loved and well used.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's a great character.
Great actor. Which J. Michael Straczynski knew when he cast him on Babylon 5 as ambassador, later citizen.
Oh, that guy also played the one-armed man in The Fugitive with Harrison Ford.
Yes, he was. He was also in that.
Oh.
And he actually has 2 arms. He was acting like he had 1, but that's how good of an actor.
He's such a good actor.
Yeah,
right.
He got rid of it, chopped it off, had it put it back on at the end of the shooting of that. Anyway, he was good. Steve Rankin, who plays Patak, also plays a Klingon mercenary named Yuto in the episode Invasive Procedures, and an unnamed Cardassian in The Emissary, and Colonel Green in Demons in 2005.
Oh, that was like the new Colonel Green. Okay. That we got in Enterprise. Right on.
The launch of the Class 3 probe is a stock footage from the episode where Silence has Lise. So, this is the first time since the first season where Beverly Crusher is seen wearing her hair long.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
That's something I think Heather definitely would have noticed.
Probably. Commander Patak's name is never said on screen, only listed in the ending credits. As such, its pronunciation is not known, but phonetically it would appear it's suspiciously similar to the Klingon curse word Patak.
Exactly.
Used as a derogatory term for dishonorable, cowardly, or otherwise unlikable person.
Yeah.
So John Snyder played Bakra. John Snyder was in Babylon 5, as you said. And Dave, if you go to our next gen chat, I put the other character that John Snyder played.
Okay, that was who's Bakra?
Yes.
John Snyder. Okay, let me just find that. John Snyder, the Bakra, you say? Wow. All right, let's have a look here. Okay. Oh, he's that guy.
Aaron Connor.
That's coming up. Like that's
Masterpiece, the Masterpiece Society.
Society, yeah, and that's like Troy's love interest in that episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He's like the I never would have put those two
performances
together.
He's a good actor.
Good actor.
Okay, so Kevin, I'm sorry about this, but I'm bringing it up. Riker receives the final version of the updated uniform, which the male cast members will continue to wear through the rest of the series. Picard's uniform alone was updated in the booby trap in 1989. The other male main cast members still wear the intermediate uniform design, which is distinguishable from the final version by the visible seams running up the front and near the underarms. Wow. Kevin, did you catch that? I know you did, Kevin.
I did not.
I noticed.
Did you? You never talked about it. Come on.
Well, I went to try.
I don't believe it now. I'm sorry. You always talk about uniforms.
I can confirm that Kevin didn't notice, but he did complain for a while about how bad Troy's makeup was in this episode.
Oh my God.
I didn't pick up on her makeup.
Oh, just bright red lipstick and 2 bright red cheeks. That's it. And it was brutal.
She only had to be in 2 scenes. They quickly did her up and get out there and say, like, that Romulan's really mean under his smile.
I want to go back and watch this after we're done tonight. But when Worf gets close to the dying Romulan, you can faintly hear the Klingon theme from Star Trek motion picture being played.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
Oh, really?
Nor did I.
Interesting.
Yep. And then originally, in the original script, Batak was going to survive, and the writers were trying to come up with a valid reason for Worf to save Batak's life. I'm going to come to this in a minute, so just let me switch over to another screen here.
Just so you know, John Snyder was on Babylon 5. He was a soul hunter.
You already told us. Thank you.
And I didn't. I told you about Andreas Katsoulis.
Oh, I see. Okay. Damn. All right. Okay. In the earliest drafts of the script, Troy was going to be also trapped on Galorndon Core with Geordi. Marina Sirtis saw this as an example of her character remaining underutilized and underdeveloped. She recalled, in the original draft, which I happened to read, which we're not allowed to see, so we don't make conversation like this, it was Troy and Geordi stranded on the planet because Geordi was blind and by the electromagnetics preventing his visor from working, and we came across the Romulan. It was actually Troy that incapacitated him. I felt very excited about this and finally got to do something interesting and different. And of course, when the final script came, not only was I not on the planet, but I had one line at the end of the show, and that was actually cut. So that's the kind of thing that happens, but I wish it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Why would they take the counselor with them on an away mission?
Yeah. It does make sense.
No sense.
Like, it would make more sense to even have, like, I don't know, Wesley with them than her, you know, or a doctor, considering it's a distress call.
Yeah. And then there's another point here. The plot point with Worf letting the Batak die by refusing blood meant great resistance from some of the writing staff and Michael Dorn when it was suggested by Michael Pillar.
I like it.
I do too.
I think it makes a better episode.
I think it makes, because if you made him too much of a good guy like Geordi, he was like, what do you mean you're putting that disruptor back at me? Like, are you dumb? Like, come on.
So
like,
Dorn's rationale was I called the producers. I find this really fascinating that these actors can just call the producers and writers and say, I don't like the script. Can you change it? But anyway, I called the producers and said I didn't agree. The thought of giving blood was an honorable thing to do. I thought that people would look at Worf as a murderer. The producers felt that Worf was becoming too human, just a guy with a big head. So when the opportunity came for them to show that Worf was not human, that he was bound by, he's not bound by the same morals as we are, it felt like a wonderful opportunity. In hindsight, Dorn saw the wisdom, blah, blah, blah.
I remember, like, when in Undiscovered Country, like, Shatner did not want to do that line where Kirk says, let them die, you know, where Spock says, they're dying, and he says, let them die, you know, and Shatner only agreed to do the line if you showed him, like, feeling bad about it, like, because he says it, and then he goes, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I don't really mean that, but the director cut that part, and he just has him saying, let them die, and that's it, right? And so that really pissed off Shatner. But to an extent, like,
it's better that way.
Yeah.
It's better that way.
Like, you got to let the writers tell their story sometimes.
Yes, you do. And that's why I
want people to hate their characters, but your characters have to do shitty things sometimes.
But remember, though, this is season 3, right? You know, and we didn't, like, honestly, we didn't really love Worf at this point. I think this was a great way to define him. Personally, I think it was great the way they did it.
Yeah, it makes him more of a real, like, full three-dimensional character, I guess,
Yeah.
And why have aliens on the show if they're all just going to act like humans? Just make them all humans.
Right.
The whole point of having the aliens and showing the diversity is to see the diversity.
True.
Yep. Pillar noted that Rick Berman knew instantly it was the right thing to do. Once he was behind me, it was a race to the finish line, and it was absolutely the right thing to do. You knew the audience was waiting for Worf to come around, but because they always do that in television, but the character wouldn't do that, and it made for really good TV and a good decision. At first, it was quite a shock and controversial, but you end up talking about survival and survival among enemies. It was just a natural character development for Worf. So. According to LeVar Burton, this episode of Star Trek was homage to the 1958 film The Defiant Ones with Tony Curtis and Sidney Poitier.
Interesting. The Defiant Ones.
Sorry, I just wanted to. There's something very interesting I wanted to share with you as well.
Okay, let's hear it.
Give me a second here. Just scrolling.
You want to hear more about Babylon 5?
No. Okay. So this was the first episode that Brian Braga actually liked of Star Trek, and he had watched episodes before, and he wasn't really engaged. But he had tried to watch early Star Trek: Next Generation and been disappointed by the show. This episode hooked him into the Star Trek universe. Recalling his reaction when he reviewed the installment, Brandon Braga related. I'm like, this is good stuff. This is not like the Next Generation I first watched. So I think that we've all talked about how season 3 is like the tipping point, in the series. And I guess Braga felt the same way.
Well, yeah, and I think that like those earlier, we had different debates about those earlier episodes. Like they don't live up to the standard that we get kind of here, like and beyond this, right? But they're still good, and I love the actors, and I love the characters, and there's some interesting science fiction ideas. But
they became better over time. Like watching it, like I was in high school. I remember watching, and I didn't love it. It took some time.
Interesting. Well, it did for me, although I was like 4 when it comes out, and I really got into it more when like syndication, it was just on after school all the time, and more.
Yeah, and you're seeing it like on City TV twice a night for years,
Right.
Yeah.
Michael Pillar mentioned that this is one of the 3 highlights from the 3rd season for him. The others were the bonding and Yesterday's Enterprise.
Well, yeah, and like everyone's like we did the bonding like 2 weeks ago, and like we had kind of forgotten how great an episode that is, and that's been really the interesting thing going through some of these other episodes where I never thought of them as much. It was interesting that we did Deep Space Nine too before this, so it's kind of like interesting to compare these TNG episodes and what they were doing a couple of years earlier.
So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I think that even myself, like I said at the beginning, I didn't rewatch this a lot over the years, and when I do, I go, it's a good episode. It really is. So I'm happy to start ratings now.
And I think like to that Braga point too, the only this could be like easily an episode that's not science fiction at all. You could make this into a modern day piece very easily. I think that's
actually now I'm going to check what the Defiant One's about, and I'll just tell you what that
Yeah, I'm curious, like if this is some kind of homage to that, because the Romulans could easily just be like, I don't know, like the Germans in World War II, or I don't know, like whoever you want to insert into that, and like just this, or the Russians or something like that, and the idea of having to get to the heart of the enemy, like and seeing them as more than just your enemy.
So here's the episode. The storyline of the Defiant Ones: when a truck that is transporting convicts has an accident on the road, inmates John Joker Jackson and Nowhere Cullen, who are chained to each other, escape. They hate each other but need to help each other off, blah blah. So there you go. And remember, Sidney Poitier Black and Tony Curtis, who wasn't exactly a nice guy in Hollywood.
That's Jamie Lee Curtis's father?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know a lot about him, but I know that that's about it. He was her father.
You should hear her talk about her father sometime.
Not good?
Not good.
Not good. Okay. Interesting. Well, she's not part of the Star Trek universe because she's the
she should be. She should be.
Absolutely, she should be.
She was in the movie, remember? Starts at Section 31. She showed up at the end.
Oh, yeah. We don't talk about that movie.
Right.
That movie isn't a part of it.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
she's technically in Star Trek now, so just if you were
Right,
holding out for
right. You're right. You're right. She is.
All right, now holding out for ratings and putting a score on this episode. Let's bring her up on the score sheet. Anybody clamoring to go first? Let's go with Kevin.
8.5.
8.5. Okay. Ashley?
9 for me.
9 from Ashley. And Adam?
I'll go with Ashley 9.
9. I'm going 10. I think this is a perfect episode.
Bringing everybody down again.
Here I am. Like this had. I don't even need the action. Like I like action, but I don't. This episode doesn't need it at all.
No.
And it's so good. It's so well put together. So yeah, this is a 9.1 from the four of us averaging tonight. Not too bad. Best episode so far this season. And I talk about the tipping point of season 3, and they're kind of really starting to figure out the show. I feel like this is even an example of that. Just how much.
Can I do my rating from last week? I know I dropped off. I'm sorry I didn't have great connection.
Yep.
But that episode was so cringeworthy for me. I cannot give it anything better than a 7.5.
Okay. Ashley or Kevin, if you would like to also add your scores, feel free.
I don't remember what episode that is.
It's the one with Leia Brahms.
Oh, right.
The hologram.
Yeah,
Brahms.
Adam and I are on the same page again. I would also go 7.5.
Yeah, I'll go 7. I actually kind of like it. It's fine, but
it's a good episode.
It's
weird.
cringe. It's cringe. It's yeah. I like to make fun of it.
Yeah, like the relationship with Leah and Geordi is weird.
No, it's not even that is weird enough. It's that opening holodeck scene with Christy.
Didn't work out with Christy. All right, well then, so we'll take this down. So that is our score for tonight, 9.1. Looking ahead to the next episode, it is called The Price. And we're at Devanani Rao.
Mark McCoy. I cannot take this episode. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not.
Yes. In this episode, several groups, including the Federation, bid for the rights to manage the entrance to a wormhole near a resource-poor planet, the Barzans, actually, which we had a Barzan character in Discovery. So
Marina Sirtis gets her episode right away.
Well, yeah, she was mad about getting her lines cut. She'll get a lot of lines in the next episode. And
then we're reminded why we don't give her more lines.
Yes. Well, I like this episode, quite frankly, but I like almost every episode, if you haven't noticed. So anyway, this will be Kevin, Heather, and Jane. I believe we're on Tuesday next week because of the current schedule. So.
I might pop in with Kevin.
All right.
I might join because I don't like it so much.
All right.
I think I have to be there to balance everybody. Pardon me?
The new Geordi.
You just want to pop in to talk about the workout scene.
Oh, is this a workout scene episode?
Yeah.
Shoot, man.
Yeah, it's the the workout scene.
Dave, I was meant to tell you, like the opening that you've got for this season is really good. You got some great memories. With the I don't know what you call it, but the opening credits, including the workout scene.
Yeah, well, thank you. I thought it was. I don't know why I throw those things together very quickly usually, and so it was just, somehow I had it that moment.
Okay, I'm coming to that episode, just so you know. I'm
all right.
It's going to be a full house. There's going to be 6 of us.
You're like the new Geordi who just shows up to, especially if it's like Starfleet Academy, he's going to be coming to complain about that. So, all right, well, look ahead to our other show that we cover here on Live Long and Podcast. Right now it's called For All Mankind. We've done shows like The Orville, other Star Trek adjacent shows that we've reviewed. So we're covering the finale of season 3 that came out 3 years ago on Monday. It is called Stranger in a Strange Land on Mars, and we're going to find out how much Kevin loved the cliffhanger from the last episode. So after that.
Yes,
jump in.
They jumped the shark.
We're good. Sometimes is that a good thing?
No.
What do you want to get? Do you want to go into the shark? I don't understand.
Do you know what this reference is from?
No.
Okay.
Happy Days.
Thank you. Happy Days.
Oh, because I watched Happy Days, of course.
So there was an episode.
Happy Days is awesome.
No, I never watched Happy Days.
It was getting kind of corny, and then Fonzie. Do you know Fonzie?
I know of Fonzie.
So he's water skiing in his leather jacket, and he jumps over a shark, and that was
it's bad.
beginning of the end of the.
Okay. I gotcha. It's like
so
it's
then
like
when they reference other shows jumping the shark, it's in reference to Happy Days.
There's actually a
Happy Days went to shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And there's a book written by I can't remember the guy's name, but about TV and when shows jump the shark.
Yeah.
Well, that's not. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't have that feeling when I watched Stranger in a Strange Land, but I really like that episode. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what the panel all breaks it down.
No,
so
the episode was great. Just that moment jumps the shark like that.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, we're gonna leave you tonight with a quote. Make sure to check out our other content here on Live Long and Podcast and the Super Mater Brothers, and Go Jays Go as we head for hopefully the third World Series title this either tonight or tomorrow night or Saturday. All right. We'll see you next time here on Live Long and Podcast. And we ask you, there are times it's necessary to die for one's ideals. Is that one of those times?
There are times when it's necessary to die for one's ideals. Do you believe this is one of those times?
Good night, everyone.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.